Hi, kids. Welcome back to another short educational video in my Science, Fantasy, and Fun series. This time, I'm going to talk about science, and in particular, the forensic DNA science I do with my college students at Sacramento State University. Yes, forensic DNA, using DNA to solve crimes. I called it work just then, but to me, and I think perhaps to my students too, it often feels more like play. It's especially fun when the research is over, the data is compiled, our research paints a convincing story, and we're ready to present our results at a conference. That's what we're going to do over the next few days at the California Association of Criminalists annual conference in Reno, Nevada. In fact, in about an hour, I'm going to drive from my home on the Oregon coast to Eugene, where I'll catch my flight to Reno and join up with my students tomorrow. We've been busy this past year studying the accumulation of human cells and DNA on cell phones and on the fur of domestic pets, cats, and dogs. We wanted to know how easily cells and DNA were transferred onto them and whether the accumulation was direct or indirect. What do I mean by that? Well, you can think about it this way. If you grab the handle of a microwave and open the door, you'll probably leave some of your cells behind because you directly touched the handle. Yes, some of the cells on your hands will actually come off on the handle and they have some DNA in them. That's direct transfer. But let's say that you leave some of your cells behind on the handle and your brother or sister comes into the room a while later and opens the microwave handle for themselves. Now some of your cells could be on your siblings' hands. It's true. They could pick up the cells that you deposited earlier in the day. Get it? That's indirect. And as it turns out, it happens all the time. When we swabbed cell phones from 55 people, we found DNA from the owner on most of them, but we also found DNA from other people. Not sure who they are or how their DNA got there, but there are many possible pathways, including indirect ones, especially for the low amount of foreign DNA we typically found, about 30 cells on average. We also found that people shed their cells and DNA onto the fur of their cats and dogs, and that cats and dogs can transfer it to the hands of a stranger. Again, we're not talking about a large number of cells, about 22 on average in our study. Still, cells contain DNA, and that's enough to get a DNA profile and one you could take to court. How did we perform the study? We recruited volunteers from households where there were one or more owners and at least one cat or dog. Then we collected reference profiles from the owners for later DNA comparisons. We used cheek cell swabs for this purpose because they're a great source of DNA. They have way more DNA than surface skin cells, for example, which are dead and flattened. They have some DNA for sure, but far less. After that, we tested the fur of their cats and their dogs to see if they shed their DNA onto them. Most of them did, and we chose those households for further study. We asked a stranger to come to the home and handle the pets, someone who didn't know the owners and had never interacted with them in any way. We made sure they didn't touch anything in the home during their visit, just the pets. They handled the pets for about a minute, stroking them as you would a dog at a dog park or a cat on a street who's friendly and wants attention. We all know that type. My cat Yeti's one of them. He'll do almost anything for a little stroking, and he's not choosy. Any stranger will do. After the stranger handled the pets, we collected swabs from the stranger's hands to look for the DNA of the pet owners. And you know what? We sometimes found it. Seems kind of crazy, I know, but there you have it. An experiment like that doesn't lie. And that's the beautiful thing about science. When you ask a question the right way, the universe will yield an answer, and one that might surprise you. Think about that the next time you cuddle with a favorite cat or dog. You're probably leaving some of your DNA behind on them. And who knows where it might end up. Wow, that was fun.